And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids, across our beautiful Kyber Empire. No, do not worry, CG has not kidnapped me and hid me somewhere in a shack in the mountains. Don't worry about it, although that is a very plausible theory. My friends, I am going on a touch grass tour this weekend. Why are you laughing? It's a serious business over here. Yeah, people. So you know what time it is? While me, my lady, and my Kylo over here. Yeah, can you say hi, Cairo? Can you say hi, Cairo? While we're doing AHN on the go, that doesn't mean we sleep. We gotta keep grinding, my friends. We got some, I know, yeah, it's kind of late out here. We got some news to talk about today, people. And we got a heads up that the next era information's coming this week. Typical. Yeah, CG, if you want to release like the whole entire year while I'm gone, feel free to do so. You have my permission, people. Remember that data mine we talked about the other day? Well, it's coming to fruition. CG, they're addressing some feedback. It's maybe like 3 years later, but nonetheless, they're addressing it. Come on over. Let's have a little chat about it and show you what we got cooking for today. We have a little client prep that is going on. Oh, by the way, I guess this just should go to say we're probably not going to be doing a Grand Arena stream tomorrow, but don't worry. We might find some creative ways to get you your Grand Arena action. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'll just sit in the middle of the waterfall and give you the full presentation. I don't know. You guys give me some thoughts. What would you like to see on that? Nonetheless, I thought I'd let you know because I know my heart's broken not live streaming. Although, Kylo, you think we could live stream it? All right, we got bigger fish to fry for the moment. Client update prep 3-26. Focus Datacrons is what's on the menu today, boys and gals. Here's what we got. CG, you know, Datacrons have been a contentious point of conversation for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Maybe I've said a few things about Datacrons, but the biggest thing I think a lot of us can agree on is the fact that it is seasonal power, which I like seasonal power if done correctly, but it's seasonal power that is difficult to acquire, if you understand what I mean. What I mean is there's so much RNG involved that, you know, one person might get one thing, the trash Datacron, and the other person might get the good Datacron. They're obviously going to have a big upper hand just because they were a little luckier. Now, I've been proposing for a long time now, what if we did some sort of skill tree related thing where you can pick the abilities you want? Again, imagine if someone got the good Omicron for Starkill and you got the garbage Omicron. Not a really feel-good feeling there, right? Well, they're kind of addressing this with the new Focus Datacrons, trying to address that RNG aspect. I don't know, maybe their data's showing that people aren't engaging as much of Datacrons. That's my guess. I mean, it seems to be mostly just a top echelon thing. Maybe this will get more people involved. However, there's a catch. With getting the abilities you want now, they're asking for a little bit more resources in return. So let's go check it out here. With the upcoming client update, we'll be adding a new item to SWGoH, Focused Datacrons. In response to community feedback, I mean, it's, the moral of the story is better late than never, right? We've been giving feedback on this for a little bit now, but okay. We wanted to provide an alternative system that has no chance mechanics. That is my thing. I can just speak on this personally. Literally the other day, trying to get some Datacrons locked in for this week of Grand Arena, and I got the smuggler that was like Kira, whatever. I don't care. I'm trying to get a little bit more evasion. I re-rolled. I kept getting the same stupid Datacrons on the level 6. I didn't get an evasion. I'm like, oh, that was a bunch of wasted resources. It's not a good feeling. Now, then let's not get into the fact that they get deleted after a few months. But here's what we have. These new Focus Datacrons offer linear progression, ensuring that each upgrade provides the precise benefits displayed. So again, if you like when we do an Omicron rank, a Zeta rank, hey, this Zeta is great. Get this Zeta. The Zeta you have is the same one I have. There's no discrepancy between who has what. This is what they're trying to bring to Datacrons. Wow. It's like we've been saying this for a couple of years now. While the cost of upgrading will be higher than normal Datacrons, you'll be able to see exactly what you're getting, which we hope will allow you to determine how deep into the Datacron you want to go. This is similar to the bespoke Datacrons. So when they mean by bespoke Datacrons, think of Padawan Obi-Wan, Great Mothers, Balin. I think Bo-Katan Mandalore also had one. I'm not sure about her. Maybe she was just in a season, but they basically just gave it outright, and basically everything was pretty much predetermined there. And of course, you can kind of tweak it, get something else here. But as I say, the bespoke Datacrons we occasionally reward for marquee events, but they're not fully upgraded when acquired. In addition, these Focus Datacrons, which we've been calling FDCs for short, will be designed to bolster squad compositions that may not be already supported by existing Datacron sets. What do they mean by that? Well, we'll have the ability to have more creative freedom of whom we want to build these around. And with the ability to have multiple bonus mechanics for characters or for different factions on a single FDC, there's the potential to shake up squad composition in ways that weren't possible before. Now, when we've been having this back and forth Datacron debate over the past few years, people sometimes misunderstood my position. Like they say, oh, I like Datacrons because it mixes things up. I agree. I like seasonal power, and I've been very consistent on this. When we had Territory Wars many, many moons ago, they started kind of experimenting with seasonal power where Mace Windu was able to solo Sith. Grievous, before his reworks, he was able to do some nutty stuff out there. I was incredibly supportive of that. They took it away saying, it's not, people aren't liking it, and they basically took what they tested in territories and monetized it, which, okay, all right. But the thing I had a problem with consistently was the limitation of how long you have it in your roster. It doesn't feel good to invest in something that gets deleted and you get like maybe 2% of what you invested in. I don't know the exact percentage off the top of my head right now. And the other thing was the RNG aspect. I sometimes would not get what I want, or I would get multiples of the same level 9. I don't need 8 Enfys Nest level 9s. I want one of this, one of this, one of this, and maybe a couple of level 6s and maybe level 3s. And it was kind of hard to kind of work around that. Well, now this is what they're going to be trying to tackle. So again, I enjoy seasonal power. And if they could try to minimize that RNG aspect, we have to really understand how much more expensive it's going to be to craft. Who knows? Maybe I'll mostly shut up about Datacrons. We're getting close, I think. We're getting close to a Datacron system that I actually like. And then quick facts here. Instead of the traditional 9 levels of a Datacron, the Focus Datacron will go up to 15. Oh, yeah, so it doesn't really show it in this picture up here. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it stops at 7. I'm not sure if they have another image somewhere around here. So what are the other levels going to be? More stat boost? Oh, you can see it on the left-hand side, though. Interesting. Okay, so I'm guessing that's like the level 3 right there. And I see a Kanan. I'm guessing it's the Phoenix and Ezra, Hera. So, yeah, I'm not used to the UI, so we kind of got to get more familiarized with it. Man, my mouth can't speak today, but what else is new? You'll be able to acquire these Focus Datacrons through episode shipments. Interesting. So you can't get this through Conquest. Now, this is kind of tackling something I've also been kind of saying. The episode shipment for me largely has felt sort of, I get my Omicrons, I get some mod slice material. That's kind of it. I don't really find much of what's in there to be valuable, or I guess bang per buck ratio is not really there for a lot of the stuff. But besides mods and Omicrons, and the Chirotech, of course, which you need. We've broken down the episode shipment in depth. I usually have a lot of extra resources in there. I'm like, oh, okay. And this is, I guess, going to be an incentive. If you do buy the episode pass plus, whatever it's called, being able to get a Focus Datacron might make a lot of people happy and give them some additional value right there. All right, but anyways, let's keep going. Focus Datacrons are considered part of the same set as the rest of the Datacrons that are released at the same time, but have their own section in the Datacron inventory to be able to find them easily. Upgrading Focus Datacrons will use the same Datacron currency and upgrade materials as the rest of their associated Datacrons that they also mentioned are going to be increasing the cap. It's such a bad feeling when my Datacron's disassembled. I'm like, oh, I can't really slice anymore. And then I end up wasting a ton of Datacron currency because I wasn't able to spend it fast enough because I didn't have the appropriate resource. So it's nice that they're increasing it a little bit. And then here we go. Focus Datacrons cannot be dusted or re-rolled. So again, a little bit different than the bespoke Datacrons, because with the bespoke Datacrons you can like redo like a level 6 or a level 3. I've done that with the mercenary cron that we got for Hunter recently. While the bespoke Datacron rewarded from our next marquee will use the format of the standard Datacron set that we're used to before, where you can re-roll the target stuff. We plan to have a future Datacron rewards for marquees use the focus Datacron format, still fully upgraded when acquired. I guess my biggest thing is, if they're going to predetermine what's what, and if I can't re-roll it, hopefully they kind of pick the right abilities. I think CG knows themselves. What are the right abilities? Because this is part of the old Datacrons. They would fill it with a bunch of random, nonsensical, bad stuff, and then you keep rolling the bad stuff, and they know it's that one thing out of like 5 abilities within a particular faction that you're looking for, or light side, dark side. So I'm sure they know what's the good one people want to strive for. Or there might be something that's maybe a little bit more under the radar, something a bit more, I don't know, a bit more experimental. So again, I like the way I kind of imagine this. I think I've talked about this on stream, actually, not even like maybe a month ago or so. I was talking about Path of Exile or just other games where you have that branching skill tree. It's not a Path of Exile exclusive thing, but it's like, ooh, I want to get that, and then I want to get that, I want to get that. So it doesn't seem like it's quite like that 100%, where it's kind of like a skill tree where you kind of build your way up. Maybe it is. I have to get it in my hands to really understand and appreciate it more, but I don't know how much I feel about the Siege being like, hey, we're going to just give it to you, and that's it, you know. I will have to wait and see how it goes. It's just something off the top of my head there. And then some edit facts. Each player may only own one of each FDC release. Once they purchase it from the episode shipment store, you can't buy another copy of the same FDC. So it seems like they're kind of keeping a tighter economy on this here. Each FDC costs 10,000 episode currency to purchase from shipments. Ooh. Yeah, ooh, man. I mean, you must really not need anything else in there. I mean, basically after Omicron's content, you might have a little bit left over for some of the mods laying around. 10,000 episode currency. Okay, it seems a little bit up there. Well, I'm not sure how many they're going to have in there. You can see all the bonus stats and modifiers on the FDC before you purchase it. Okay, cool. For this first run, we are releasing 4 FDCs. All 4 FDCs will remain in the episode shipment store until the next Datacron set is released. FDCs have a lower character requirements. Okay. Wait. Oh, I missed this when I first read through it. Oh my gosh, this is good. FDCs have lower character requirements. For the first set, the highest FDC level has a character requirement of Gear 5. That's another thing I forgot to bring up. We talked about the RNG aspect of it all, to see the temporariness and how it dismantles itself and your resources kind of go into this dark abyss. The other thing I had a big problem with, it was the gear gate. Unlike the territory war stuff that I talked about, where they did some seasonal experimentation, it was available to people of all gear levels. If you had a Gear 1 Mace Windu, I don't know if it's going to work well, but you could still use it at that point. This is a big deal. This might be the biggest thing, and I think this is kind of what I was saying earlier. I don't really see Datacrons being a really big thing outside of Kyber 1 and Kyber 2. Maybe you see a sprinklings and, rhodium and stuff like that. And a lot of it is, it's just one... It takes a lot of resources already through Conquest to get the materials, then the RNG aspect, and do you even have the right faction, all that stuff. But the gear aspect was a big deal. So they're getting rid of the gear gate. That's a big deal, my friends. Big deal. Wow. Okay. The team looks forward to getting your hands on them and sharing your feedback. Wow. I think this alone might get people a little bit more involved because, just like, for example, I have a... Qui-Gon Jinn team on my free-to-play account. I put like a stupid level, Gear 5 counselor. It'd be nice if I could throw a Datacron on it still, even though we don't have all the requirements on them. So interesting. Okay. All right, let's keep rolling here. So we have a couple other things coming in this upcoming client update. Alphabetized titles and portraits. Okay. Navigation arrows on the Datacron screen. Yeah, Datacron, the UI, the management, it could use a little bit of work. Alert for going over the raid currency cap. Okay. Show episode currency bank on episode track screen. All quests. Yeah. There we go. Right here. No, don't you dare restart on me. Don't you dare restart on me. The Datacron currency cap will be raised to 100 million. That's nice to see. Some bug fixes. Rollout of the new client update will begin next week. And then, right here, be on the lookout for information on the next era at the end of the week. And then will I get resources back for the focus Datacrons akin to the normal Datacrons dismantling? Yes. All right. So I want to say this before we kind of wrap this video up here. I first off, I appreciate that they're trying to implement some of the feedback we've been giving them for the past several years. I wish it was a little bit sooner we had this type of communication. I know a lot of people that kind of dropped the game because of how Datacrons were rolled into the game and how it kind of ruined, in my opinion, the core competitive integrity that we kind of relied on in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And it's nice they're tackling the gear gate for this. They're tackling the RNG aspect. I like that. I don't know if this was, because we're at this point, we're kind of accustomed to Datacrons. I feel like there are more important things that they should be focusing their effort in. I think for me, number one thing is territories. And this is not just a knock on territories. I'm getting a lot of sentiment from top guilds. Like, they're getting burnt on territories. It's not fun. It's a lot of work for what? It's also just a super outdated game, but let's just be real. I don't care if you like territories. It hasn't really seen any changes for many years. When it came out, 2017, and mostly they did was expand the zones and that temporary run where they ran some seasonal stuff. Other than that, I think that's probably more of a top priority. Fixing their raid system is another thing. I'm still not too crazy, but I think they got to go back to that older mentality of the raid. But that's a whole conversation for another day. So, although this might not be exactly what we wanted to see in terms of new features and content, I'm happy they're addressing feedback just maybe a little bit later than we were kind of hoping to see. Anyways, people, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today inside of CG's hidden kidnap center that we have going on here. Hopefully you look forward to some on the go action. So it's actually, between you and me, it's some of my favorite videos. Like, we're truly mobile gaming right now, my friends. But anyways, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever it might be, because you know what? No matter where you are, whether you're here or there, because what is here but there without a T? It's always great to be in the Empire today.